Good morning. I'm Stephen Stewart, and I'm the founder of the OR Group, and I'm very pleased to introduce OR Day. This is an event where we've assembled a fantastic lineup of speakers, as well as a showcase for our portfolio companies who invest in the commodities which we've taken a long-term view on. Now, we all know 2020 was a year that will not soon be forgotten, but it's time to look forward, not just to 2021, but the 20s as a decade, so that we can make long-term and well-informed investment decisions. What lay ahead? What will the world need? And how are we going to find these building blocks, which are the metals? And this is precisely what OR Group focuses on and what consumes my thoughts on a daily basis. So this is what we're going to discuss here today at OR Day. We'll be looking into the dominant macroeconomic themes and then breaking them down to get at their fundamentals, to see what underlies these trends, in search of a very simple answer. What metals are we going to need as our world evolves? We'll discuss precious metals and their drivers, which is ultimately sentiment. What drives this sentiment? Well, it's discussion around debasement, asset bubbles, inflation, deflation, and maybe even stagflation. We'll discuss the disconnect between Main Street and Wall Street and how the financialization of assets has eroded confidence, not just in our system, but the people who pull its strings. And it's this confidence, or the lack thereof, in sound money and a stable financial system that drives the demand for precious metals like silver and gold. It's our very clear position that these two metals will outperform on a long-term and sustained basis, but investors need to expect and to be able to stomach their volatility. Then we're going to shift our talk towards potential ways out of this debt quagmire, about getting back to real productivity, building out the infrastructure we so desperately need, and perhaps most importantly, building out low-carbon energy projects which require massive amounts of industrial commodities like copper and nickel. And of course, let's not forget the ultimate green energy metal, uranium. How does this suite of green energy metals play out in a world with a mandated reduction of fossil fuels and now a price on carbon? If you do the math, the facts are the amount of investment required to meet our green energy demands within this low-carbon world is in the trillions. The quantity of energy metals required are simply not available, and the search for their increased supply is just getting started. If the maths are correct, we're facing a massive structural shift in investment away from fossil fuels like oil and gas and towards metals which support this green energy revolution. A shift like this could dwarf any supercycle we've seen since the Industrial Revolution. I see it as inevitable, but the only question, like anything, is its timing. But this is what the OR Group and our portfolio companies invest in, and this is what OR Day is all about. So please stay tuned and enjoy. Thank you.